Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the first of what will be 4 races this week at Chicagoland Speedway. Welcome to Joliet, Illinois for the HTL National Series, 3rd race of the season. We arrive once again a completely different track than what we're used to seeing these drivers take on, from Daytona to Darlington, now in Joliet, Illinois. We begin again. Once again with some new faces, 26 cars set to be on track here this evening at least. But still some time left here in practice as well. Practice qualifying the race coming up here. Welcome to Avian Esports 1 coverage of the HTL National Series, running all the way into March. Race 3 of 10. We've had 2 different winners to kick off this season. Do we see number 3 tonight? Do we go 3 for 3 tonight? Is the pertinent question at the front. A lot of different drivers jumping their way into this event. Again, 26 cars present at the moment. 25 has set a lap time already. Only driver that has yet to set a lap time is Kelly Hype to get things started here. Caleb Eichler, front of the field. In practice at John Hagan, Mark Parkhurst, and Jonathan Adams, as everyone continues to run laps here. John Hagan second fastest at the moment as we continue to proceed here in the HTL National Series. And practice going on at the moment for about 17 more minutes. Welcome everyone to Avian Esports 1 coverage. Racing in full force here. Practice going on. John Buwalda just went top of the board. Really good run for Buwalda right now. I see in a group at the moment, but I'll help him out pretty significantly. Elliott's joined the list of drivers racing at the moment. Put a lap time good enough for 23rd fastest in. Right now, John Buwalda. For tonight's race is Christina Ryan. Christina Ryan coming in with a full head of momentum here. Won the preseason test event on Wednesday. Now driving the 48 car to get some time in. Right now running 15th fastest, the 48 car is in this group, with the 32 of Jeremy Bailey, the 14 of Chris Justice, the 51 of John Buwalda. Christina showing her ability to slice through some of the field here. This will be a race about managing traffic. It's going to be about managing clean air, managing dirty air, putting your car in positions to be successful here tonight. Again, this is the Gen 6, and we had a little brief look at it here before. We'll get another look at it. This is the spoiler. And whenever we talk about the Gen 6 machine, we talk about the spoiler in particular. This is a 7-inch spoiler one of the largest we ever saw in stock car competition. It's tall enough that beyond the 5-inch carbon spoiler, there's an additional 2 inches of plexiglass on the back of this car, and that punches a giant hole in the air. On top of that, this is a 550 horsepower configuration. So it's a very tight group all the time with a lot of downforce on these cars. What that's going to mean is that what you're seeing here, you can run just about any lane on the track here at Chicagoland, but you're also not going to be able to really do a lot to pull away. Obviously, it's isolated here, Christina Ryan, on pressure tires at the moment, which is going to be important in this race. Those older tires will have the detriment, as is per normal. But if you have a bunch of drivers on the same level, it's going to be very hard to make moves happen here tonight. And those that are the most familiar, those that are the most experienced with this car, with this package, are going to be the ones most successful. Christina Ryan, someone you're going to want to keep an eye on right now. 4th fastest at the moment. As we're out on board with her, talk about a slowdown from 220 miles an hour in the Champ Car machinery. She'll be racing on Wednesday, touching 190, 30 miles an hour slower. And obviously you don't get to keep that 190 in the corners, down to 170 in Champ Car machinery. We're going to see a lot of comparisons to Champ Car this weekend. For those that are not familiar with Champ Car, we apologize in advance, but that's our bread and butter series. Champ Car in the corners, you can hold 214 miles an hour. 40, almost 50 mile an hour difference between these cars and the Champ Car machines. But you got to think about the difference in these cars. A lot less, not as much horsepower, and a lot heavier. These are 550 horsepower cars, but they're 3,400 pounds. So these are heavy moving machines. Bellotta, Eichler, Hagan, and Ryan top 4. You heard Christina Ryan cut the throttle there. Christina Ryan, one of the new faces in coming in and racing in HTL. So obviously made an appearance already in HTL competition, raced the Cup Series race at Le Mans, finished 4th in that event. But making her debut in the National Series tonight. Caleb Eichler, former fastest driver on track in that Busch number 29 machine. Following that is the 24 of David Duran Jr. and the 31 of Kevin Gibney Jr. Kevin Gibney Jr. heading the wall there out of 4. Looking further down the order, Jonathan Cogswell, last week's race winner at Darlington. Right now sitting 21st in the timesheets at the moment. Kind of sitting as a dark horse at the moment. Still looking pretty good. Made his debut with a race win last Friday. Seeing if he can go 2 for 2, but he's got a little bit of work to do right now as he's riding alongside Callie Height. Callie Height's still 24th fastest, still trying to find some speed. But as you can tell with the ticker at the bottom of your screen, it is still pretty close. 18 cars within half a second. Then you have some others like Josh Susie, Chris Justice, obviously Eli Sasek 6/10 behind, Richard Odie. Obviously, Callie Height a little over 6/10 behind. Everyone's within 3/4 of a second of each other. James Wright, the slowest at the moment, but also with the least amount of time in draft. Perhaps it is time to begin again as Eichler comes down pit lane. Gets off the racing surface. Doing a pit entry practice here, I believe. Another driver with a very busy schedule, Josh Gaiman, who goes for a bit of a ride through the infield grass here on the front straightaway. Participating and doing double duty between Chicagoland and the 24 hours of Daytona this weekend. So he gets to go from racing here in Joliet to the high banks of Daytona in a completely different machine. From Toyota to BMW for Josh Gaiman. Gaiman currently in the 18th position in the timesheets with 7 minutes left to go. Ooh, huge hit. And that was number 3, Richard Gonzalez. Another driver filling in tonight, DJ Trout. Filling in for Lily Peltier-Sharp. Peltier-Sharp having a medical issue that needed resolving. Not here tonight for Chicagoland. Hope to have her back next week when we head to Watkins Glen. Heavy weekend of racing here. Obviously the 24-hour Daytona taking place this weekend, being bookended by a bunch of races at Chicagoland. They used a group of cars coming out. Susie Gibney among this group, as I believe is David Durand in the 24, that white-nosed Exalta Camaro. You have Gibney cutting out as well, and I believe that is Richard Gonzalez, the 23, another Exalta car rolling around right now, with the midnight flames adorning that 23 machine. Cogswell just went 16th fastest. That Ford Mustang finding a bit more time. And Cogswell going to practice pit entry here. Try to get as late on pit entry as possible, and just a little bit overcooked there. Goes to 27 to Cogswell. And for those tuning in, I'm Carmen Sienna, bringing you tonight's coverage of the HTL National Series here at Chicagoland. We're going to see a lot of this track just outside Metro Chicago. Center of your screen is Selena Thompson, the 12 machine, running around on track at the moment. Thompson doing a really good job at the moment. 12th fastest for car 12. Not a bad effort. As she continues to learn and grow in the HTL community. A lot of people practicing pit entry as much as they can in the final minutes of practice here. We're going to step aside and get ourselves a refreshment break going on here. We're right on board with the driver looking to make an impression here tonight. John Hagan, still yet to win in the HTL National Series or the Cup Series. Let's see what he can do. We'll ride on board with him. We'll see how a pit entry's done. Christina Ryan just did picture perfect again. Fantastic stuff there by Christina Ryan. Qualifying underway. 5 minutes for everyone to qualify. Several drivers will not be able to. They'll start from the back of the field. Christina Ryan's not one of them. One of the first ones to get on track here. Only Eli Sasek will be ahead of Christina Ryan. Single lap qualifying run for the 48. Where does Christina put that car? Where does that Camaro end up? Sasek, provisionally top of the board, but just by a smidge. Christina Ryan takes it away. Hagan can only go second fastest. John Bawada on track now. Jonathan Adams takes provisional pole away. Jeremy Bailey goes 4th fastest. Where does Bawada go up? The admin box, number 51, coming across start finish line. 9th fastest. Rhett Balzer in the 94 begins his lap. James Jones in the 45 beginning his run as well. Parkhurst goes 6th fastest. Cogswell on track now. Jones goes 4th fastest. Balzer goes 12th fastest. Cogswell, last week's race winner, leads pit lane now. He's got 1 lap to make things happen. Cogswell on his run now. Let's see what he does. Cross line for Cogswell, only 13th fastest. Richard Gonzalez up next. Richard Gonzalez goes 11th fastest. David Duran goes 15th fastest. Here comes Josh Susie on a run. Josh Susie on a run, as is Chris Justice. Chris Justice finishing his lap. Susie halfway through his. Chris Justice goes 4th fastest. And that's going to be the top 10 for qualifying here, with not a whole lot of time remaining. Jonathan Adams, front of the field. And that's how the top 12 really get started here. We'll go into the starting grid in full. Row 1, Christina Ryan and Jonathan Adams is how they will line up tonight. Jonathan Adams in the 42, Christina Ryan in the 48, technically teammates going into the night for Premier Racing Club. So that team's doing really good with substitute drivers here. John Hagan and Josh Susie in row number 2. We'll see what they can put together here. They did a fantastic job to qualify in that second row. Susie looking for a championship in the HTL Cup Series. Can he do something here in the National Series as well? Row 3 is James Jones and Chris Justice. Jones in 6th, Chris Justice in the 5th position. Inside row 4, John McIntyre. He lines up alongside Jeremy Bailey. Row 5, Mark Parkhurst and Eli Sasek go side by side there to round out the top 10. Row 6, Lena Thompson and Caleb Eichler just outside the top 10. Both of them looking to make something happen here tonight. Row 7, Richard Gonzalez and John Bawalda in that 7th row, 13th to 14th on the grid tonight. John Bawalda was fastest in practice. We'll see what he can do here in the race. Rhett Balzer and Jonathan Cogswell in row 8. Cogswell in the 27 machine, won last week, trying to go in to make it 2 in a row. Row 9, David Duran Jr. and Connor Morris make up the top 18. Top 20 belongs to Angel Santiago and DJ Trout. 21st, 22nd, Josh Gaiman, who's got a power pack still slate on his hands with Daytona, another race coming up here. The 24 hours he is actively already engaged in with his team. He has to go from driving a Gen 6 Cup car to a BMW GTP machine here in a few hours. Row 12 is Callie Height alongside Chris Pindell. These are drivers that did not qualify. They will start at the back of the field. Richard Odie and James Wright also in the 13th row. They make up the back side of this 26 car field. Jonathan Adams filling in for Mark Parkhurst. Parkhurst himself delivered further down the order in the 19 machine, in a completely different machine. Christina Ryan in the 48 in that merry-go-round machine, leading 26 cars tonight. Green flag is in the air. The Joliet 150 is underway. We're racing at Chicagoland. Running aboard with Caleb Eichler. Second lap underway. We saw 3 wide on the exit of turn 2 as Parkhurst falls backwards a little bit. Eichler trying to make his way forward. Eichler up 2 spots into the top 10 at the moment as things stand at the end of lap 2. A 29 car charging forward. Eli Sasek also doing well as well, going up 3 spots, up to 7. Front of the field is Jonathan Adams and John Hagan. Christina Ryan holding on to 3rd ahead of Chris Justice. John McIntyre rounds out the top 5 here in Joliet. Side by side, Hagan to the outside. John Adams to the inside. Hagan gets clear. Christina Ryan going to try to do the same as McIntyre goes for 4th. McIntyre taking 4th away from Chris Justice, who slides back a little bit. Now under threat from John Bawalda. The 51 admin box machine rolling around the outside. Christina Ryan has moved to the front of the field, ahead of John Hagan. So Christina Ryan getting laps led. Caution is out for the first time tonight, and it is an issue. It looks like it could be with Angel Santiago. No, it is not. It is with James Jones. And we'll go back and take a look at what happened here. Further on, back in the pack. And that is with David Duran. Obviously, the incident's already happened there. This will be a good example here. Oh, and this is just a 3-wide situation that does not go well. Let's see if we can go up high above. This is a little bit too high above. The chopper cam should be helpful. Yeah, keep it on the 45 on the inside, the far left of this 3-wide. Sienna Thompson in the middle, and then Connor Morris on the outside lane. The 3-wide here. This is just outside the top 10. Yeah, and that's on the 45. They just 45. I don't know if he's aware that they're still 3-wide or not, but tries moving up the crowd, Sienna Thompson up, and it just does not work out. So they all come down pit lane here. Exception of the top 4 or 5 rolling around at the moment. Actually, looks like most of the field did stay out. Top 16, top 17 stay out here. Christina Ryan leads the way under our first caution of the night. John Hagan in second. Then it's John Adams, John McIntyre, and John Bawalda in the top 5. So Christina leading the procession of Johns in this field. 4 Johns back-to-back. Hagan, Hagan, Adams, McIntyre, and Bawalda. Chris Justice in 6th on this restart. Josh Gaiman in 7th. Eli Sasek 8th. Sienna Thompson 9th. Josh Susi in 10th is how the top 10 will line up here. A little bit of history between John Hagan and Christina Ryan. Both been racing against each other in the ABN Avenbox Cup Series back in 2023. As we get ready to go here in Chicagoland for the first restart of the night. Green flag in the air, and away we go. Three wide, further back, single file up near the front. Hagan will lose a spot to Jonathan Adams. But it's 3 wide, just around Josh Gaiman in the 61. That Toyota Camry splits the middle to get around Sasek as the 2 of John McIntyre goes for a wild ride. Do they save it? Yes, they do. Fantastic save for John McIntyre and Eli Sasek, though they both lost out there. It's 3 wide for the race lead. Adams on the outside lane. Hagan in the middle. Christina Ryan on the apron on the inside lane. Entering turn 1. Who's got the advantage here? Hagan clears himself off Ryan. Adams getting side drafted by Josh Gaiman, who's trying to make his way forward, and will do so. Josh Gaiman to the middle, and in a successful move to the front of the field, he's now gone from 21st to 2nd. John Hagan leads the way. And he's got to make that 85 car wide. Josh Gaiman in second. Christina Ryan on the inside lane being outrun on the outside by Adams and company. But keep an eye on that 61. Gaiman goes to the apron. Gaiman stayed up high. Adams in the 42, up to third once again, battling with makeshift teammate Christina Ryan. And Bawalda just behind. Adams goes to the inside lane. Gaiman continues to run about half a lane high. Hagan drifts high. And then there's the 12 with Selena Thompson. Thompson's made her way into the top 5. On board with Selena Thompson, who's having a little bit of latency issues here. Still holding on to the top 5 as things currently stand. Here's the onboard cam from the number 12 helmet. Looks to the inside lane. Couldn't really make any inroads there on Bawalda. And you see how busy it is behind, forming 2 different distinct groups here at the moment as things run. Christina Ryan back up to the top 5 as things run. Thompson stays on the inside lane. Chris Justice goes around on the outside. Chris Pendel's made his way into the top 10 as well, just behind Selena Thompson. In that number 6, Gatorade Zero machine, making his way around as we go. Christina Ryan jumps to the outside lane ahead. 2 Ohio natives, past and present. Christina Ryan, hometown Cincinnati, Ohio. Chris Pendel just down the Ohio River in Aberdeen, and Pendel tags the wall. Trying to follow John Bawalda, and will now get around the 51 of Bawalda. Around we go. Begin to see another separation here between the top 5 and everyone else in the top 11. Christina Ryan and Chris Pendel, the gateway to the top 5 at the moment. Pendel on the other side of that top 5, sitting in 6th at the moment, car 6. Trying to get back to that lead group. But he tagged the wall pretty hard there a couple laps ago. Right now in that 6th position, Christina Ryan in the top 5. Chris Justice has firmly put himself in the top 5 as well, sitting in 4th. It's John Hagan that leads, and we've seen John Hagan in these positions plenty of times before. It's about being there at the end of the race, and oftentimes John Hagan is not there. Does that change tonight? $1 million questions that have to be answered. Josh Gaiman in third. John Adams ahead of him. Chris Justice looking behind him, trying to make a pass happen for that third spot. We had one early caution in this race. Since then, it's settled down a little bit. 3 different distinct groups forming. One with the top 5 leaders in this group. Then you have another group behind. Chris Pendel, Sienna Thompson leading that group over a second behind. Thompson, Bawalda, Duran, Bailey, Sasic, and I believe Eichler all in this group. Yeah, it is Eichler, 29 in this group. And then it's a little bit further back by another second. Parker, Santiago, Balzer, Hogswell, Susie, Gonzalez, Height, Trout, Odie, Gibney, McIntyre, and Jones are all in this group. But it's John Hagan and John Adams going at it here at the front of the field. The 85 and the 42. Josh Gaiman in third is how they are sitting right now. In fact, there goes Josh Gaiman looking to the inside of John Adams. One car already out of this race. That is Connor Morris. Christina Ryan just behind here in fourth, getting around Chris Justice, making a pass happen there for that fourth spot. Top 6 very truly on their own. Sienna Thompson leading the rest of the field, the best of the rest, if you want to say it. As things stand, 150 miles, 100 laps. This is a 1.5 mile D-shaped oval where the turning never stops. And we're right on board with Christina Ryan, so you can get a decent idea of that. This steering wheel does not stop turning at any particular point. Still pointed in a certain direction, still pointed left, still going left, and now you really crank this wheel to the left a little bit to get this car to go through, but you're always turning through it. It's not a flat back straightaway, by any stretch of the imagination. Constant radius of some degree. Sitting now with the third place driver at the moment, Christina Ryan, a former ABN world champion. Riding on the outside, you see, you can even tell on this roof cam just where the curvature of that back straightaway is and how deceiving it can be. All the way down on the apron, following the leaders at this point. See Ryan closing in on her makeshift teammate there, John Adams. And there goes Adams for the race lead. Can he get clear of John Hagan? It's the John and John show at the front of the field. Adams trying to lead, does not lead that lap. Hagan takes it. And Adams looked a little bit unsteady. Coming back up on the track from the apron. Christina Ryan up in second, up in the high lane, trying to go for second place. Three cars in this group trying to go for the lead at the same time. Christina Ryan got right there to the quarter panel of John Adams. 4 cars in the outside lane, including Christina Ryan. John Hagan running every lane possible in the book. Christina Ryan going to try to not only go for second, but to try to set up a really good move for first. Gets clear for second pretty easily with help from Chris Justice and Josh Gaiman. Hagan stays up high that time. Saw that move by Hagan to try to cover off Christina Ryan. Hagan knows as well as anyone, probably better than most in this field, just how talented Christina Ryan is. Definitely didn't want to give Christina Ryan more of that hotline outside space. But now Chris Justice is making inroads. That inside lane got some clean air. And Chris Justice was making moves with that. Again, John Hagan's not won a major competition in HTL. He's looking to try to do so here tonight. Big question is, can he? Looking for it here. Christina Ryan goes to the bottom, drifts up, clipped that apron. Was not as clean with that as she wanted to be. And now she's thrown to the middle, 3 wide. Hagen continues to lead. Christina Ryan goes from 2nd to 5th. Here we go. John Hagen still leads the way, but now it's Josh Gaiman after him. And these two have bad blood. A lot of carry out, a lot of fallout here by John Hagen. Both Josh Gaiman and Brandon Proudfoot left Stepping Stone Motorsports due to actions off track by John Hagen that they did not approve of. Josh Gaiman moved to Arrowhead Racing. Brandon Proudfoot moved to Lady Liberty Motorsports, where he is now a championship contender. So Josh Gaiman not afraid of being physical with this 85 car if it means getting Hagen out of the way. Caution's out. And this is a little bit further back, trying to see where this is at. Oh, this is with Jeremy Bailey of 32. What happens to Jeremy Bailey? On the outside, I believe. Oh, this is the inside of turn 1. And he gets turned. That's the 19. That's Parkhurst. While his teammates battling for the race lead, Parkhurst finds himself pinched up by Jeremy Bailey. Well, I'll take a look at that again because it looks like Bailey moved up a little bit. Here's from, this is a really good camera. This is from high above. This is from above the broadcast booth. Yeah, that's Bailey trying to go up and shoot a gap that just isn't there. Parkhurst was still very well in that space, that Welch's number 19 machine. And Jeremy Bailey paid the worst of it, but Parkhurst got a piece of it on his own as well. And everyone else getting through pretty well, unscathed. Just Bailey coming to a stop backwards there in turns 1 and 2. He obviously gets pointed right in the right direction. That Ford Mustang, however, now in 24th position. And most of the field will come down pit lane here. John Hagen leading the field down pit lane. Let's see what we got from the pit lane. That race through pit stops begins now. Right side tires going on most of these cars here. Hagen should comfortably get the race lead out of this. Josh Gaiman rolling from the back of the field here. Gotta be careful. 50 miles an hour the pit speed. Hagen holds on to the race lead. Josh Gaiman, Chris Justice, Jonathan Adams, Christina Ryan in the top 5. Lap 35 of 100. Our second caution of the night. And for this, just tuning in, I'm Carmen Sienna, bringing you tonight's action from Joliet, from Chicagoland Speedway, outside of Metro Chicago. It's John Hagen, Josh Gaiman, Jonathan Adams, Chris Justice, and Christina Ryan in the top 5. Mark Parkhurst, who was involved in that last incident, in the 6th position on this restart. John Hagen leads the way over Josh Gaiman. This is going to be a very interesting restart. Third one of tonight, including the initial start. Second caution is what we're coming back to green from. You're on AB and 1. HTL National Series racing. And away we go. Hagan, Adams, Carmen, Justice, Ryan, Parkhurst, top 6. Hagan leads the way. Jonathan Adams not making any wasted time trying to get to the front of the field. John Hagan still leads that lap though. Josh Gaiman, keep an eye on him as he tries to fight for it here. A little bit of a contact. Car in the wall is Parkhurst. Parkhurst in the wall. And he drops out of the top 10. Cluster in the top 10 at the moment. Everyone happy that we got that reset from that pace car, from that caution. But here we go again. 24, David Duran Jr. Right behind Josh Susie. Trying to make some magic happen at the front of the field. Gaiman leads over Hagan and Ryan. Action thick and fast here at Chicagoland. Side by side for the race lead. Hagan got right back to the quarter panel of Josh Gaiman. But Christina Ryan on the outside lane going to help her Champ Car teammate. Trying to hold on to that race lead. Gaiman leads, almost clear, and is now clear of John Hagan. Firmly in the race lead now. As is Christina Ryan, Josh Susie almost clear as well. Not said Josh Susie's name much at all. But here he comes to the front. Selena Thompson 3 wide with David Duran Jr. And that is the 14 of Chris Justice as well. Duran backed out of it. And wisely so. That could have gotten ugly quickly. We've seen enough of that as it has been tonight. But Duran doing a fantastic job. Duran up 9 spots from where he started this race. Josh Gaiman up more than anybody else from 21st to 1st. John Hagan trying to move to the inside of Josh Susie here. Looks like he's not going to be successful in that endeavor. Christina Ryan stays on the outside lane. Elected not to go to the inside there. Chris Justice will move to the inside. He'll be the first to do so. Chris Justice in that 14 machine, about to be attacked by Selena Thompson. Selena Thompson in that 12 machine, moving forward. Josh Susie getting around Christina Ryan. It's fun seeing those two finally battle for the first time. They both share the track at Le Mans in the HTL Cup Series, but they were not competing against each other. Now they are. One of HTL's best, one of ABN's best. Side by side, entering turns 3 and 4. That's the magic of this National Series. A little bit of everybody. Susie in the 81, making some inroads there. John Hagan in the outside lane as well. Christina Ryan kind of just stuck on the inside lane, not where she wants to be alone at this point in time. Selena Thompson in that Duracell number 12. trying to make some inroads towards the front of the field as well. That Dayglow Yellow, number 12 machine. Can't miss it. Has been top 10 most of this race, but as things go, pretty decent so far. Thompson goes to the inside lane as Ryan covers out the outside lane, and forward once more goes Selena Thompson. Big group of cars from Josh Gaiman to Caleb Eichler. 11 cars in this group. Eichler in the 11th position. One of the faster cars here in practice. Santiago tags the wall just a second there, but stays in this group. Does not slow down Parkhurst or Eichler that much at all, so they'll stay together. A little bit further back, you have to go all the way to find Eli Sasek on an island. And then DJ Trout leading another group of cars. Callie Height in this group, Rhett Balzer, Chris Pindell, John McIntyre, and Jonathan Cogswell all in this group. This is 13th to 18th. Front of the field still, Josh Gaiman. Approaching the halfway point. This is the end of the halfway here at Chicagoland. Josh Gaiman leads, Christina Ryan, John Adams, Josh Susie, and David Durand all in the top 5 as things currently run. Adams goes to the inside lane. Christina Ryan looks to the outside of Josh Gaiman. Doesn't make it happen there. Looks, peeks to the middle. John Adams to the far inside still. Still side by side down Levac straightaway. Christina Ryan still stays there. John Adams once again peeks. This time does not go to the white line. But trying to go on the attack, will go on the attack and will take second at the line. But Gaiman continues to lead as we've entered the second half of this race. And caution's out. Caution's out. Selena Thompson has gone around. And that's on the front straightaway. Pit stop's underway. We're going to take a look at what happened to cause our third caution of the night. This is Selena Thompson. This is out of turn 4. And just a really bad bump by Angel Santiago. Parkhurst with another tag of the wall there. Overall, not a lot of damage there for Selena Thompson. What happens here? Does Selena Thompson drift up and check up? That's the big question there. This is my above. Does check up a lot. Washes out wide, and Santiago really just trying to avoid that. Nowhere for him to go in that melee. Unfortunately for Santiago there, because Santiago's been having a fantastic race for a change. Typically the luck's not been on Santiago's side, but he got away with one pretty easy there. We'll try to ride on board with Santiago here. See what we see here from the number 90 machine as we roll back a little bit so we can see through turns 3 and 4 in their entirety. This is a little bit of a tag there off at Duran, gets a little loose, and nothing that Santiago can do at that point other than try to get out of the way. Santiago ended up 6th in that exchange. So Sienna Thompson will be at the back of the field here in 21st position. It will be Christina Ryan leading the field to green. Christina Ryan leads the way. We'll try going through the field here once we're under green. But it's Christina Ryan, Josh Gaiman, Jonathan Adams, Josh Susi, David Duran Jr., and Angel Santiago, top 6. Callie Height. And then the 18, a DJ Trout in row 4. Pace car takes a sharp left onto pit lane. Third restart of the night with Ryan and Gaiman in control. Green flag is in the air and away we go. We're racing once again. Whoa, in trouble already. It's Gaiman and Santiago. And the caution's out quickly here because Santiago came to a very sudden stop. So we'll rack it up and try again. And this is on the restart. Josh Gaiman to 61, center of your screen. Santiago third in line on the outside lane. And we're going to go back to above the booth here. Oh, Gaiman gets loose early. Oh, Susi. Josh Susi causes this one. Trying to follow Christina Ryan down the track. Josh Gaiman's right there. Now play it in slow motion here. Yeah, Susi just target fixates, follows Christina Ryan, and just hip checks Josh Gaiman. And we talk about bad luck. Angel Santiago. There it is. Oh, and netcode. Absolutely severe netcode there for Santiago. Just finishes him off. Jonathan Cogswell in the 27th. Sienna Thompson gets clear of that. Wild stuff all the way through. In the pit lane now, several cars. Richard Gonzalez, James Jones, Mark Parkhurst, Angel Santiago, Richard Odie, and Josh Gaiman. 18 cars stayed out there on that run. See several cars getting repairs taken care of here. Christina Ryan will be at the front of the field. Then it's Josh Susi, Jonathan Adams, David Duran, DJ Trout, and Callie Height. Fantastic job so far. But go ahead while we have a chance. We'll go through at least the top 10. We'll go through the field. Christina Ryan, at this point, in the race lead, has done a fantastic job so far tonight. You look here a little bit further. This is the highest she's been, obviously, leading this race. Has led 9 laps so far. Has not been any lower than 6th place so far in this race. Same cannot be said for Josh Susi. Started 4th, but was down in 18th position. Had to serve an EOL at the start of this race due to a penalty received from Darlington. Up to second place, has not led a lap yet so far in this run, but he's at the front of the field this time. He'll be on the front row alongside Christina Ryan. Lights on the pace car, which means it is time to double up. Christina Ryan chooses the inside lane on this restart. Third place by technicality, I believe technically it would be fourth place on track, is David Duran Jr. No laps led. This is the highest he's been so far in this race. Started as low in 17th position, was as low as 22nd early on in this race. Jonathan Adams, the rifle third place starter at this point for the restart, 4 laps led. Has not been lower than 8th, has been in top 10 all race long. Let's see if he stays there in this run. DJ Trout in the 5th position has been, this is his highest position so far in that 18th for Lily Pelletier Sharp. He's been everywhere except for the front of the field. So let's see what he does here in this 5th position. Kelly Height in row 3 on the outside position. There's Caleb Eichler in the 7th position as well. We'll go back and look at Kelly Height here in just a second. If it pops up, I guess it won't pop up here for Kelly Height. But Caleb Eichler, 7th is the highest he's been, but he's also not been that low as 15th for him. John McIntyre in the 9th position with work to do. It's Christina Ryan at the front of the field. Green flag is in the air, and away we go. Birdie's cut forward and straight away up front. John Adams pushed to the inside lane by Josh Susie. Adams holds on to second, but he's about to get run over here a little bit, I think. John Adams stays in second place somehow. Susie got dropped the position by David Duran Jr. And then behind Callie Height, it is Bedlam. Callie Height in the 6th position at the moment, trying to hold on to that 6th spot from DJ Trout and Caleb Eichler. Whoa, DJ Trout, and that's a huge crash. Several cars involved, and that is a vicious crash. Cars up and over, Cogswell, Bailey, Trout, and others. Santiago looks like he got a piece of it, maybe. Selena Thompson definitely got a piece of it. And that is night over for DJ Trout. A vicious crash. Several cars involved. Looks like John Hagan's one of them. Let's take a look. And obviously, this is going to be, if this is what we're jumping to, it's not a pretty sight. This is side by side between Eichler and Trout. And do they make contact? And if so, who draws the contact here? Eichler in the 29, Jeremy Bailey in the 32, DJ Trout in the 18. Oh, yeah, this is going to be on Eichler moving down. He's reading Sasek, who goes down to the apron, but Trout doesn't quite go that far down. Tag Sasek, and here comes DJ Trout up the track. Thompson, Bailey. There's John McIntyre, T-boned. There's Hagan with a huge piece, and Selena Thompson's the one that went up and over in a huge way. Cogswell with a huge hit. There's the 23 of Richard Gonzalez with a huge hit. And John Hagan, nowhere he could go. He got slammed in the middle of that too. That's right on board with John Hagan, because this is going to be ugly. He gets away with a decent amount of it. was able to get down to the grass there. Obviously not going to be so pleasant for Sienna Thompson in this. I'll back it up here because it is a wild ride Sienna Thompson goes on. Right on board, helmet cam. Wild stuff there for Sienna Thompson. Now right on board with Angel Santiago. And he gets to see all this with plenty of time to back it up here a little bit. Looks like he gets away with this pretty well clean. So does Richard Odie in the 78. See all the smoke as it begins to settle. And DJ Trout's day is officially done. It'll be Christina Ryan at the front of the field alongside David Duran Jr., Jonathan Adams, Josh Susie, Chris Pendel, Callie Height, Caleb Eichler, Eli Sassick, Kevin Gibney Jr., and Rhett Balzer. The top 10. Green flag back in the air, and away we go. Christina Ryan leads the way. John Adams in the 42 trying to go to the inside lane. Bum drafting down the front straightaway here at Chicagoland. David Durand giving it everything to try to stay ahead of John Adams, and will do so. Was successful in that endeavor. Durand's not led a lap yet in this race. Would love to get to the front when it matters most. A little bit further back, a little bit more pandemonium. That is Chris Pendel losing spots. John Hagan in his wounded car still going. There's Kevin Gibney side by side. Callie Height in this mix as well. As is the 29 still of Eichler. Then a couple cars behind. That is the 78 of Richard Odie and the 84 of Rhett Balzer. As they fan out, entering 3 and 4, Christina Ryan still leads over David Duran Jr. Josh Susie in the 81. Sitting in third at the moment as things stand. Then it's a battle for fourth between Sassick and Adams. Christina Ryan looking to make things happen here in the outside lane. The inside belongs to David Duran, and he will take the lead with it. It's easy to take, hard to hold. That race lead here in this car. Still side by side, down the back straightaway. Duran had to back out of it, was afraid of drifting up into the 48. Gave some courtesy there. Was greatly appreciated, but he'll lose a couple spots in his effort. But if you're going to keep giving, now's the time to give, because here in about 10 laps, they'll begin the process of taking. I think David Duran's also learned at this point, he knows he can set up a pass and make it happen in 3 laps. That's the magic number. Christina Ryan alongside Josh Susie once again. 2 of the best. Susie from HTL, Ryan from ABN. And now go at it side by side. Across the start-finish line, it belongs to Christina Ryan. Durand in third, Sasek fourth. As this process begins. Susie could not complete the pass on Ryan, though. Very important to note there that not everyone can make that inside lane work the way David Durand Jr. did in that 24. Ryan goes to the apron, uses all of it. Susie did not. Neither did Durand or Sasek. Hagen in this mix as well. But one has to wonder how much damage the back of his car has. How much damage the front of his car has too. His front's pancaked. And if that's going to hinder him a lot once he gets closer and closer to the clean air up here at the front of the field, Susie gets a little loose, and Durand squeaks into the inside lane and says, thank you, I'll have that position. And now Sasek looks to the outside lane. Durand, I think, tagged the wall just a second here. John Adams gets around, goes into fifth place. Richard Odie making some moves. Then that 78 a little bit further back. Christina Ryan holds on to the race lead. It's Susie, then Sasek, then Durand behind. Callie Height, keep an eye on her. She's on the edge of the top 10 right now in 10th. Looking for a good result here in the National Series for the first time this season. Pendel once again clips the wall, grabbed that safer barrier in 3 and 4. Spin his kryptonite, that Aberdeen, Ohio native. This is a battle for second place. Christina Ryan's ahead of this. Durand right on the bumper of Eli Sasek. Hagen's back up to fifth. Pendel now working the inside lane alongside Jonathan Adams. 24 laps to go. To borrow a word from 8-time Avian Cup race winner Emily Howe. Top 5 or 6 are all ripping the lip here at Chicagoland Speedway. When we say that, you call it ride the wall or rip the lip. That's a dirt track terminology. You're running the high lane, making the outside lane work. The inside lane, not as favorable. That's what everyone's doing right now. Outside lane or bust, except for Jonathan Adams, who is trying in vain to try to make some inward happen. He got around John Hagen. Hagen's fallen back even further behind Chris Pendel. But it is becoming harder and harder. The thing that's working right now for Jonathan Adams is that the outside lane is checking up for each other with all the drivers up there on the outside lane. Durand stays above the apron here. I think Jonathan Adams had him pretty well pinned up there anyway. But now you see drivers fanning out a little bit. You see Durand move to the middle lane, trying to get some clean air to the nose of that Camaro. Adams on the inside lane had all the clean air at his disposal, and it was working pretty well, up to a certain extent. And now you see he's kind of stalled out a little bit. As these tires continue to wear, it's going to be favorable more and more for drivers like Christina Ryan and Josh Susie to stay where they are. David Durand closing in once again on Eli Sasek. He gets right there to the bumper. Can he make a move and get back to the podium? Sasek in third. Here comes Jonathan Adams. And here comes the side draft. Adams did not run low. He stayed as high as he could while also getting to the inside of Durand. Runs the apron here. How tight does he hold him into one? Answer, not very tight. And Pendel's going to have a chance to shoot through the middle if they keep it open. Adams actually almost powered through the inside lane, but will lose all his momentum on the outside lane. Here comes Pendel to try to make it 3 wide. Adams still pushing his way forward, and he'll make it happen. Durand and Pendel bounce off each other. So again, in comes Jonathan Adams, trying to make it work on the inside lane. That 42 car doing a phenomenal job so far. Durand in the 24, he's going to look to the inside. Adams closes the gap. Again, it's all about can anyone stop Christina Ryan. Josh Susie in line to do so. Has been ebbing and flowing behind that 48 machine. Does Christina get her first HTL Series win here tonight in her second career start in HTL? She's done 1 race as a driver in HTL. That was the race at Le Mans in the HTL Cup Series, where she filled in the 28 for Unforgiven Motorsports. Now in the 48 for Premier Racing Club. Can Premier Racing Club join the Race Winners Club? That is the question we get to find out. Susie in second, Sasek third, Adams fourth, Durand fifth. Durand in the 24 on the outside lane, looking to get back to fourth position from John Adams. Does not make inroads here. Adams checked up by Sasek. Durand gets side by side and will try to cog John Adams off of turn 2. Hagan has lost ground. He's gotten ahead of Chris Pendel, but it seems like he is stalled out. He may not be able to get much further. 16 laps to go. Pendel gets around John Hagan. Kelly Height will try to do the same. This is a little bit further back. Hagan on the inside lane, Height to the outside. The 3 in the 85. Height into 3. Gets around. Will make it happen, and away she goes. It's Kelly Height up to 7th. Susie in second, still holding a 2/10 gap. Susie in the 81, Ryan in the 48, 15 to go. As they go down the back straightaway. Sasek stays third, Adams stays fourth, Durand stays in the top 5. Pendel in the 6. He's closed in on this top 5. Can he make some inroads here late? It's all about Christina Ryan in these next 14 laps. What has she got? Angel Santiago in pit lane. Christina Ryan running just a little further away from the wall than Susie. But it's all in play. Top 5 all within half a second. Pendel and Height in this mix as well. Susie trying to make a play. There's Sasek. Sasek gets loose off the nose of Jonathan Adams, and he'll check up 3rd through 5th. Keep an eye on Chris Pendel. Right aboard with him for a quick second. Chris Pendel in the 6th position. Adams will lose a spot provisionally, 2. As here they come, late pit stops. Ryan, Sasek, Adams in. As is Caleb Eichler. This is going to be important. 11 to go. Susie, Durand, Pendel, Height, top 3. Pit stops for fuel. With 11 laps to go, Durand comes in. Chris Pendel now trying to chase down Josh Susie. Callie Height, top 3 at the moment, but pit stops on their way. Drivers that could make it all the way on fuel, John Hagan and Richard Ode. This is going to be intense. Leaders stay out. 9 to go. Did they save enough is the magic question here. I believe the answer to that question is no, but we will find out for sure. Callie Height comes in. Saw her peel off. There goes Susie. Chris Pendel will take a lap lead for his efforts here. So the answer to that question was for them, no, they could not. Is Hagan able to save enough fuel? Chris Pendel on his own. It is John Hagan and Richard Ode at the front of this field. They pin a lap 63. They could, in theory, save enough to make it. But you see how much they're having to save, how much slower they are compared to everyone else. Here comes David Duran. He'll get his lap back. Seven laps to go, coming to 6 laps to go. Callie Height getting up to speed. Everyone in the top 4, pin lap 63, from Hagan, Ode, Cogswell, and Parkhurst. Can John Hagan hold on to win his first major HTL race? He's won races in the HTL Truck Series, but he's not done it on a bigger stage. Can he do it here tonight? Richard Ode in 2nd. Cogswell in 3rd, a distant 3rd at this point. Then Parkhurst in 4th. Caleb Bike for the 29 gets through to get his lap back. 14 cars on the lead lap. That's very pertinent information in case a late yellow does come out. Coming to 4 laps to go. Jonathan Cogswell's in. Cogswell is in. As is Parkhurst. They could not make it all the way on fuel. It could be a bearer of bad news for Hagan and for Ode. They are trying to save. Can they save enough? And you see the speed difference there. They are trying as much as they can. Balzer goes through. So Balzer gets his lap back. Ode saving fuel, staying behind Hagan. That's why he's staying behind Hagan. Saving fuel in the draft of the 85. Coming to 2 laps to go. Two to go, 3 miles left. It is a 2-horse race, and it's the mileage that they get that will be the difference here. This is going to be very, very, very important. Through 3 and 4 for the final time. Ode's pulled the lead out of it. Here they come. 1 lap to go in Chicagoland. Hagan led that lap. Odie's got it now. This is for the race win. I think Hagan still has to save fuel. I think this is Richard Odie's day. Coming to the checkered flag. Richard Odie wins the fuel mileage race at Chicagoland. He's a race winner in HTL. Hagan had to save fuel down to the very end. And Eli Sasek claims the podium. Richard Odie, a race winner in Chicagoland. A fantastic job by Richard Odie. Well done. Odie is out of fuel. And Mark Parkhurst will help him get back to pit lane. A first time race win for Richard Odie. And Chris Pindell out of fuel as well, I believe. What to see. Now Pindell is still rolling. And congratulatory there for several drivers on for Richard Odie. John Hagan once again denied a chance at a race win. Fuel mileage got him second place, but couldn't get him the race win tonight. And Richard Odie will stop at the victory lane stripe. Angel Santiago giving an appropriate bump here. A fantastic job, Richard Odie, a race winner here tonight in Chicagoland. An outstanding result. And I think a fantastic start to Chicagoland week here on ABM. See if we can hear from our podium finishers here tonight. A fantastic job all the way throughout going into this race. We'll start with third place, Eli Sasek. Hear what he has to say. Eli, this is Carmen from the ABN booth. You got a copy?
Yeah.
What a drive. Started 10th, ended up third place here tonight. Fuel mileage helped out the top two. You're the best of those that had to come down pit lane to take fuel. Walk us through it on your end, though. That was a wild race.
Oh, man, I wish they ran out of fuel a little bit sooner. Me and Christina were fighting hard just in case, and I mean, they kind of wore me out. I'm out of breath after that one. I mean, it was a good race. It took me a while to kind of get used to it. This package is not great, but it took me a while to kind of get used to the racing, I guess, tempo in a way, and over the course of the race, I started to get a little bit more, started to figure out what I needed to do, and it just all came together on that final run. And if things ended up differently, that's probably a win. So it took a little bit out of me. That was quite the run.
Obviously, you're going to be very familiar with this track by the time next Wednesday rolls around. Multiple races on tap. On top of that, the 24-hour Daytona going on this weekend. So a lot of racing for everyone involved here tonight. To kick off this week, coming up with a podium to kick things off, what could have been a race win if strategy had just gone a little bit differently on that final caution. Not a bad effort to put it through there. What does this sort of do for you getting ready for, obviously, Champ Car when that season starts on Wednesday, but also just getting through the rest of the week? Now that you've already established yourself as being competitive here at Chicagoland, and you're getting yourself into that rhythm again.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a little bit different. I like this car. I like this track in a lot of different cars. And I did well last season in the Cup Series with the Next Gen. So hopefully that's good, but probably a little bit of work to do uh, IndyCar, I'm not too good at oval racing on Indy cars, so I'll probably need to practice that a little bit. But I mean, for me right now, the main focus is definitely the Cup Series, and I just need a good race at Chicagoland and to make it in to the round of 8. So I'm gonna have to put some work in there. But I mean, this definitely gives me confidence. I love the track. Yeah. The work needs to be done for sure, but I'm confident we can get there and come out of the rest of the I guess week in a solid place in everything I run really.
Well, it's a phenomenal start to everything here to kick off the weekend. A third place here in Chicagoland. Before we let you go and let you get ready for whether or not it's the Daytona 24 or the race coming up here on Monday in the HTL Cup Series, the elimination race in the round of 12. If there's anyone to shout and say thank you to, the floor is yours. Congrats again, Eli, on another fantastic podium.
My grandparents, they always watch and cheer me on, and that's greatly appreciated from them. Everybody at Ascent, we put in a lot of work, and I can't thank them enough. And then Christina there, that was a great race at the end, and just everybody else who helps run everything here. So and iRacing for bringing IndyCar back. I shouldn't forget that. So yeah, I think that's it for me on the thank yous and that.
Absolutely. Fantastic job. Third place, Eli Sasek here tonight, here in Chicagoland, with a lot more racing coming up here this weekend. Eli, enjoy it, and we'll be seeing you again very soon.
Thank you.
That was Eli Sasek, third place finisher here tonight. We'll move on. We'll actually take a detour, and we'll talk to fifth place Christina Ryan, her first appearance, and then we'll talk to John Hagan and Richard Ode, the race winner here tonight.
Yeah.
Christina, this is Carmen from the ABN booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, what's up?
Obviously, fifth place in your debut. Not quite the way you were thinking this race would finish on fuel mileage, but a fantastic effort nonetheless. 39 laps led tonight in a race you really just kind of signed up for the day of. Walk us through it.
Yeah, I thought we were racing at Watkins Glen tonight, so you can imagine my disdain when I loaded in and saw we were doing low horsepower, high drag. But yeah, I don't know. We had a good run, kept the car clean, stayed out of trouble, led a crap ton of laps, and finished really strong. We couldn't really afford to try and do the fuel strat there with the way the track position is, how bad this package is for racing. It's just kind of hold the top to win. So it was really clever by them to do the strat. They knew they had damage or whatever, or Hagen had damage, and Odie said he was like, well, we're single file anyway, might as well. So unfortunately, the luck didn't go our way tonight, but we still had a really strong run, finished great, and kept Livy's seat warm for her. So I guess there's that.
And obviously for you, your second race here in HTL, both of them top fives, keeping that streak alive here. Obviously for you, you're looking for Wired to Watkins, which is next week's round of races all across the board. Obviously, you're doing well so far in Chicagoland. You won the preseason test event that happened on Wednesday, with more Chicagoland all the way throughout. How are you feeling going in, obviously, in the next Wednesday's main event?
I mean, the pressure's already off because I know it's a shootout and everything, but like we already got a win in an official event, so like, yippee. So to come out here and perform just as strong, I really do like this track. It's a shame we don't use it more often in other leagues. I'm glad it's getting some of the love it deserves. It's a really fun racetrack, and yeah, I don't know, going into next Wednesday, I mean, I already, even without the win, I mean, I have nothing to prove anymore because I'm a champion there. So it's just there to have fun and kind of celebrate the car being back and being able to run the champ cars without getting a DCMA. So yeah, it's kind of just a celebration at that point. As far as tonight goes, I don't know if they need me in the car for the Glen, or I don't really know what the deal is, but just happy to jump in and put in a good effort. I was trying to help my teammate when I could there, especially on the restarts, because it was pretty much, the way this package is, but yeah, as much as I hate driving these things, I'm I'm glad I can still do it. So yeah, no, a lot of confidence, really strong, and the racing was good with the people. It's just package's fault was why it was a bit difficult today. But yeah, big congrats to Odie, and he played it really well. And yeah, Wednesday should be fun. Everything coming up should be pretty fun. I'm big chilling right now. I don't I don't know. I'm just kind of hanging out. So
A phenomenal effort here. 5th place, another top 5 in HTL competition, this time in the National Series here in Chicagoland. Obviously, we'll see you again on Wednesday, and hopefully we get to see you again before that point. But before we let you go here and let you enjoy the weekend coming up, if there's anyone to shout out and say thank you to, the floor is yours. Congrats again on a phenomenal finish and 39 laps led tonight.
yeah, shout out to Mark, I guess, Parkers, for putting me in the car. I had no idea what this series was, and had no idea what was going on, but he wanted me in the car, and I said sure. So yeah, felt good to go out, lead laps. Thanks to you for putting it on as always. Shout out to Eli. We were busting the doors off of each other just in case the cars up front ran out. And yeah, thanks to everybody who was watching. I think we had a few more friends, a couple new friends popping in tonight. So if you were watching, thanks. And if you've always been cheering for me, thanks as well. Hopefully we put on a good show. Glad to make everybody proud. And yeah.
Congrats to Christina Ryan. 5th place finish tonight, 39 laps led. I think maybe almost the most laps led, if not the most. So enjoy it. And obviously, it'll be fun racing against you on Wednesday. Enjoy it.
Yar.
That was Christina Ryan, 5th place finisher here tonight. We'll move on. We'll move up to John Hagan, the 2nd place finisher here tonight. Again, denied this time by Fuel Strategy in the 85 machine. John, this is Carmen from the ABN booth. Do you get a copy?
I do.
If it isn't a 2nd place finish, it is losing it on the final lap. Once again, one of these races where 2nd place is great compared to what it could have been if you had to go down pit lane and take fuel there at the end. But another last lap pass. Walk us through it, how much fuel you had to save, and obviously how close it was that entire run just to make it those 40 laps at the end.
I was put in a box after that last caution. I got 2 minutes and 30 seconds or whatever of damage, and I was only able to get 45 seconds of it fixed. And so I was like, whatever. Fuel tires. And I came off pit road, and I'm looking, and I'm like, I can make this. And I looked at where everybody was running. I think only Richard and a couple other terminal folk had pit with me, and I was like, okay, we're going to stretch this and see how it goes. So, I was also really surprised I was able to make passes and keep up with the front guys while saving fuel. I was like, what? But overall, I'll take a 2nd place over a 15th place finish that I was looking at after that wreck any day of the week. Don't care it was a 2nd in your, I don't remember what y'all called it, the 2nd place guy, but I'll take 2nd. We'll take this on, take our lumps and celebrate.
The position we usually joke about is the bridesmaid, and it is a fair comment there. You finished 2nd a ton here, but compared to what it was, compared to the damage, we mentioned the damage you had on the front of your car there, it was pretty pancake there at the after that caution, that huge crash on the front straightaway. It's a 2nd place here at a track you're going to spend a lot of time at here. You're going to be back here on Monday for the cutoff race in the round of 12 in the HTL Cup Series. What does this do for you? You're walking through this. Now you've already had to sort of go through this dress rehearsal almost to get ready for Monday. What does this do for you going into next week?
It doesn't do much because these two cars, the Gen 6 versus next gen, drive completely different. I don't know if you could get further on the spectrum away from each other the way they drive, but 2nd place will always boost the confidence. I learned a lot about lines and saving tires in this race tonight, so I'm going to take that and try to bring it to the next gen HTL Cup as much as I can. But yeah, it's great. We'll do our best on Monday.
Obviously, a phenomenal effort here. John Hagan, a championship contender on Monday nights and Tuesday nights with the playoffs of the beginning there in the HTL Truck Series as well, which will also be here at Chicagoland Speedway on Tuesday. And that may be a little bit more comparable with the tires, but a lot more similar there between the two series. Before we let you go, though, and let you get ready for the week of races coming up ahead, and if you're racing the 24, then some sleep before that race begins. If there's anyone to shout out and say thank you to, the floor is yours. Congrats again. Another phenomenal effort and a phenomenal job. 34 laps led. You never spent much time below the top 10 at any point, despite having to get repair on that last restart. Just overall, a fantastic job. Well done tonight.
Thank you. I want to shout out my beautiful girlfriend. She's with me right now. I want to shout out Jacob Shangle for getting me in here and painting my car up good. Shout out all the HTL admins who work hard to throw this on week in, week out. Congrats on your promotion, by the way. Shout out y'all at ABN who put on these broadcasts. And shout out Richard Ode for being that much better at shoving fuel than me.
Phenomenal race here tonight. John Hagan, second place, started third, did not spend a lot of this race outside of the front of the field. 34 laps led, with a lot of racing coming up here on Monday to move on to the round of 8. John, enjoy it, and we'll be keeping an eye on that 81 machine on Tuesday and the 60. I want to say it's 64 machine on Monday. There we go.
Yeah, there you go.
Had to remember, there's a lot of cars in the 60s. We'll keep an eye on the 64 on Monday and the 81 on Tuesday. Championship running for John Hagan next week. Good luck.
Thank you.
That was John Hagan, the second place runner. We'll talk now to the race winner, Richard Odie, the 78 machine in victory lane for the first time in HTL competition. Richard, this is Carmen from the ABN booth. You got a copy?
I do have a copy.
What a drive. Fantastic racing here tonight. Your first race win in HTL. Fuel mileage gets you there. Fuel mileage all the way, and a fantastic job to do so. Walk us through that race, and obviously the strategy there was fuel mileage the name of the game from the start for you.
Thank you. It's definitely a huge win, and no, it wasn't really part of the plan, but once we got single file there, and I had topped off that last caution, so I figured someone's got to give it a shot, so why not roll the dice and see if we can get lucky?
Obviously, it worked out for you fantastically. Only 4 drivers really were in that group with you. You had yourself, you had Cogswell, Parkhurst, and Hagan. Cogswell and Parkhurst couldn't even come close to making it. They had a pit with 5 to go. It was between you and Hagan at that point. For you, once you knew it was between you two at the end of this race, how confident were you? And obviously, how much were you still having to save there coming up to the white flag lap to make that move happen?
Yeah, I didn't want to make the move too early because I had to save quite a bit of fuel to even put myself in that position. But once I got down to I was going to run out right before the line, I said, with 1 to go, I'm going to start trying to make a move on them. I figured if I could get by them by I would say turn 2 exit, that I was going to be pretty confident that I was going to be able to block them the rest of the way. But I was still a little nervous because I was hoping it wasn't going to sputter before that.
Now, it got you just enough fuel to get across the line. We saw you run out of fuel and got help to the start-finish line. Obviously, no burnouts here, but victory lane still a pretty sweet place to end up here after tonight. Obviously, for you, we get to see you on Tuesday nights and Friday nights. Obviously, breaking through again your first win tonight. How does this feel, obviously, going into next week? Next Tuesday, you'll be right back here at the exact same track.
I think it's a huge momentum boost. Just getting used to the tracks and more feel to them. Didn't take tires that last caution either, so I had to go a long ways on the tires. But I figured, if John's gonna try and risk this, I know he's gonna have less fuel than I will because he's in front of me. So I figured might as well use the draft, try and see how long I could go on this car, and see if I could just 3/4 the gas pedal all the way to the end.
It worked out phenomenally here tonight. Obviously, a race win here. And, you go into next Tuesday's race, which is going to be right back here in Chicagoland. Now you've got that monkey off your back. You've got a race win. Next race coming up here, Watkins Glen. Obviously, this car can be finicky. How are you looking forward to going to your first road course in this car?
I love Watkins Glen. It's one of my favorite tracks. I think it's It's a track that provides some unique opportunities for some really good braking zones. Still got to get off the corners with enough straightaway speed, especially on the back straightaway and going in the inner loop. But it's got to be real careful not trying to wheel hop or hit the curbs too hard and just take yourself out of a good contention.
Well, you've done a phenomenal job here tonight with Watkins Glen coming up here. It's going to be a very busy calendar going through January and into February. But congratulations on breaking your way into the victory lane here with a race win here in Chicagoland. Before I let you go and let you celebrate and enjoy the weekend, if there's anyone to shout out and say thank you to, the floor is yours. Congrats again on a phenomenal performance. Race winner for the first time, Richard Odie, here in Chicagoland.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate all that you do for us. And shout out to Deep Racing and everyone that helped get me across the finish line. And also shout out for SherryStrong.org. Sherry, unfortunately, we did lose her last year, and I love running the colors. I hope, to bring a cancer awareness with ovarian, and hopefully we can keep her legacy going. I know everyone in the sport misses her dearly, and they still want to keep her around. So honor to drive this car with these colors, and hopefully we can keep the momentum going strong the rest of the season.
Absolutely a phenomenal start of the season for that 78 crew. Again, enjoy the race win, and we'll be seeing you again very soon on Tuesday.
All right. Thank you, guys.
That was Richard Odie, the 78 machine here for Deep Racing. Victory lane for them here tonight. A phenomenal job in that 78 camp. We'll walk through the results here tonight. Richard Odie winning this race from 25th on the grid. A phenomenal drive here tonight. Did an outstanding job over John Hagan, who had fuel mileage there, just couldn't save quite nearly enough to hold on to that race win. Eli Sasek, best of the rest, third place after an amazing battle with David Duran Jr. and Christina Ryan. They ran it out the top 5 here tonight. Kelly Height, Josh Susi ran out 6th and 7th, once again keeping Lady Liberty Motorsports going in the top 10. 6th and 7th for them. Angel Santiago and Kevin Gibney Jr. round out the top 9. Jonathan Adams started on pole position, could not stay up at the front of this race forever. Ended up 10th place after a late pit stop there for him. Looking through the field again, Rhett Balzer in the 94 did a great job. From 15th to 13th, stay consistent there tonight. Mark Parkhurst, he was involved in several incidents, ended up recovering the 14th place. Jonathan Cogswell almost went upside down at one point in this race, ended up in 15th place. Lena Thompson did go upside down, flipped all the way over, but finished 17th here tonight. John Buwalda in 18th, ahead of James Jones and Chris Justice here tonight. And it kind of mixes up here with drivers running out of fuel on the cooldown lap. It's Jeremy Bailey, DJ Trout, John McIntyre, and Josh Gaiman in the top 24 here tonight. And that'll do it from us here in Chicagoland. It's been a phenomenal night of action. We're glad we got to share Friday night with you. Obviously, we're not going to be doing a whole awful lot here this weekend. The iRacing 24 Hours of Daytona is this weekend. It'll occupy most everyone's time here. That is racing. We will be back Monday, 8 p.m. here on ABN Esports 1, right back here in Chicagoland for the HTL Cup Series, the elimination race for the round of 12. Tuesday night, 8:15 p.m., we'll be here again, once again, the HTL Truck Series here at Chicagoland, and then the main event of the week, Champ Car is back. ABN Champ Car action back on Wednesday, the 24th at 8 p.m. right here in Chicagoland Speedway. Going to have a good field of cars. Going to be fantastic racing. We can't wait to share all of that with you coming up there on Wednesday. Until next time, on behalf of everyone here for ABN Studios, everyone here at ABN Esports 1, for HTL in the National Series, I'm Carmen Sienna. Thank you all so much. Stay safe, stay healthy, have some fun. We'll see you on Monday right back here in Illinois. Until then, so long, everybody.